here. I don't know how well the audio is going to be because this phone is a little dated. This is going to be a short one as I am in Sam's Club. My battery died this morning and needed to get that resolved, and also went ahead and getting some tires put on as well. Oh, excuse me. So much different. So much going on even at 9:44 in the morning. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit the like button. We're going to respond to this about what has transpired this morning. Tell me if you guys can hear me. What's going on, Prue? What's up, man? I worked at this, well, not this Sam's Club, but I worked at the old Springdale Sam's Club and then the Fayetteville one over across the auto park in Fayetteville. It's actually where I met my wife, was the old Springdale Sam's Club. I'm trying to find a place where we can just sit and chill for a second. I probably should have done that before I went live. I will tell you guys, the plan is tonight, we're going to be live at 6:30 reacting to everything. We know we're going to hear from Hunter Yurchak and Bobby Petrino at noon. Here we go. It's a little less chaotic over here. So we'll hear from interim head coach Bobby Petrino at noon, and Hunter Yurchak. So this morning we find out, and I was taking, actually, so as I'm dealing with my battery in my car, when I'm on the way to work, I listen to like a couple of radio stations, but I'll listen to like Chuck and Bo, or I'll listen to 92.1. Eric G does a really good job, by the way. Eric G, really good at diving into like position battles and all. I like Eric G a lot, but I just happen to have Chuck and Bo on my YouTube, on watching their live on YouTube. And as I'm talking to my kids, pulling up to Lisa, keep in mind I've had it paused, so I might have been 10 minutes behind. But then they dropped the news that they have fired. Bobby Petrino has fired the staff, the defensive staff. Now, a couple of things. Bobby Petrino is a control freak, okay? Of course we know this from the first time he was here, but this is cool. They got a little Arkansas State plates. Look at this. Look at that. Huh? And the Sam's Club is not a sponsor, but you know what? That's pretty cool. He's a control freak. So really, this shouldn't shock anybody. Right? It shouldn't, but it still did. Dad was a good old Arky 56. Pops was calling me this morning. Did you hear the news? I've never in all my life seen anything like this. And I asked him about when Jack Crow got fired. I said, did this happen with Jack Crow? And he was like, no. He said he brought in, when they hired what's his name to be interim, after losing to the Citadel, I think he said he brought in a couple assistants. And then, of course, he would... what was the guy's name that took over the job? And then he coached the next year. I forgot his name. But that guy brought in his assistants for the following year. Never have we seen anything like this. That's what's a little bit surprising about all this. And, and if I understand the portal correctly... and you guys please correct me if I'm wrong, these kids can enter the portal, right? They can enter the portal right now. I think there's like a little window they get when their coach is fired. If I'm interpreting that rule correctly, and I hope I'm not, And that's why it's a little bit surprising. If that's true, who is going to hit the portal? And how much of a team, I don't know. I hope that maybe there's a deadline on that or something. I don't know. Pepsi Zero. Sam's Club Pepsi Zero. It hits the spot. I am, listen, the reaction to this is still raw. We're still gathering all the information we can. By the way, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, all that stuff. Share the content. Sharing is caring. But yeah, I was a little bit stunned by this. I did not think. Now, how do I feel about it? We'll talk about that tonight, 6:30. This is more of just a live reaction. Like I said, we're going to hear from Hunter Yurachek and Sam Pittman at noon. And we'll get some more information. How you doing? Hi. We'll get some more information. But this is, yeah, it's kind of unprecedented. I mean, for Arkansas to do something like this. And absolutely, this was, I think it was a Sam move. It's kind of vintage Sam Pittman, or excuse me, Petrino. I'm sorry, Petrino. You guys tell me what you think. I want to know. Let me see if I can read comments here. We're getting some messages held for review. I'm sure those are delightful. Travis Choked Williams says, Bobby had to clean out the closet. Yeah. Sam Pittman's buyout has nothing. Let's see. Sam Pittman's buyout has nothing on the amount of Subway sandwiches RQ56 owes Ty. When I heard all this morning, my phone starts exploding. What's funny is, like, as this was all transpiring, my phone was blowing up. I was getting text messages and DMs, and I knew something had to be going on. But again, like, as I get my car jumped, using my wife's Buick, using her battery, in this process, I don't care about my phone, right? Phone's just exploding. DMs out the wazoo. Everyone's like, oh my God, you gotta live react to this. And it's broke, right? That's when Bo Mattingly and Chuck broke the news. I'll tell you how I feel about that tonight. 6:30. Monday Night Lights live tonight. I don't think we're going to have Tim Neal. We're going to have Travis Ford. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. Same parts, Ford Live, the best. Check out the link. Should be provided for you down below. It may not be. I don't have my presets set on YouTube, mobile live, whatever the hell this is. So now we wait for what Hunter Yurachek says about all this, what Bobby Petrino says. My guess, again, I've literally been on the phone. Well, I've been texting one other media member, and with how frantic things have been this morning, thanks to my car, I might be behind a lot of y'all on some of this stuff. But I think what we're going to hear, I kind of want to hear out of Bobby Petrino, is that a change had to be made, no matter how drastic. We've got a bye week. We've got to use it. Now, the other question to all this, I was talking to my dad, talking to R56 about this morning. All like Petrino knew that this was going to have to be his move. And as soon as he was given the interim job, kind of makes you wonder about the Marcelo phone call, or the Brandon Marcelo reporting that, that Petrino had been, quote unquote, working the phones. Kind of makes you wonder if, I don't know, they're not going to come out and say, well, board of trustee member called Bobby, or, someone higher up within the university called Petrino. They're not going to come out and say that, but I kind of wonder if this was all kind of, what's the word? If this was all kind of part of the plan. Because this is all happening so fast, right? I mean, I get that you have to, and there has to be urgency, because here's why. This week, typically in a bye week, you know, it's kind of get right. It's reviewing film. The guys get a little bit of a break. I don't think that's happening now. But then you jump into this week and you're correcting what you got wrong, and then you kind of get a semi head start on your next week. Well, then that Sunday, Sunday, Monday is now install. So you've got a week, not even. You got 6 days to get someone in here. So you're already scrambling. So I wonder, man, this is just me thinking out loud, that no matter what, as long as Pittman lost to Notre Dame, there was a plan B installed. Plan A would be not to do anything, because maybe Sam does upset Notre Dame, right? Which obviously now, looking back on it, that's laughable. But plan A was, well, we don't do anything. We wait until, you know, maybe he loses some more games, and then we pull the trigger before the next bye. Plan B, and maybe that's where the discussion started, right? Maybe that's where this started. Maybe that's where it's like, hey, look, here's plan B. If there's anybody who's not currently employed that, you know, if there's any kind of moves you want to make, I don't know, maybe that is, you know, within the confines of Pittman, quote unquote, kind of working the phones behind Pittman's back maybe a little bit. But again, I'm not stating that I think Petrino was making those calls. I think people were calling him and just telling him, like, hey, just in case, we need a plan B. It just feels like all this is moving so fast, so quickly. It's almost like they've already, like they knew they were going to do this. I don't know. That's just me thinking out loud. Yeah. I don't know. And again, they're never going to come out and admit that. They're not going to come out and be like, oh, yeah, no, we knew this. This was planned. They're not going to do that. They're going to play this off like, oh, well, we decided after the Notre Dame game, which could be the truth too. Like, I don't want to paint this like, you know, they're all so devious. But, yeah, again, tonight, 6:30, I'll give you after we kind of get a better understanding. And after we hear, obviously, from Petrino and from Hunter Yurachek at noon, which I will be live reacting to in Patreon chat, I'm going to do my best to give you kind of cliff notes as to what they're saying in the Zoom call. I would stream it if I could. I've tried to ask about streaming that before, and it's just kind of a weird, you know, I think you're not supposed to. I don't know. Unless you get maybe if you're a news station and, you know, they give you that kind of access. I don't know. I'd like to stream it. But I'm very curious to hear mostly from Hunter, really. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to know Bobby Petrino's plans. And I'd like to know, like, I want to hear him talk about Travis Williams. I want to hear about him, like, what's the plan moving forward on defense? My God, they fired everybody. I mean, everybody. You guys need some dog food? Sam's Club will give you a deal on a pallet. Good Lord. Yeah, so this is the Huff and Puff is what this is. Not yet trademarked. Trey Biddy needs to trademark the walk and talk. That's what he needs to do. He ought to trademark it. This is the Huff and Puff. I need a good walk, and I forgot my Apple Watch, so I can't count my steps. Honestly, didn't plan on being here this long. I thought I was just going to swap out a battery and hit the road. Yeah, what's next on defense? Right? What's next? Is Bobby just going to call both sides of the ball? I mean, we know he's not going to do that, but I mean, you wiped everybody out on defense. I would have thought, okay, they're going to move on from Travis. Okay, understandable. You promote Woodson. This is a guy that's, Woodson, who you plucked from Florida State. There was talk that maybe one day he could be he'll get that start as a D coordinator, probably at a group of 5 school. He was kind of on an upward trajectory. He comes here, he's the co-defensive coordinator at Florida State. He helped, he was kind of like, not really, I forget his official role, but I know he worked with the secondary. I don't think it was quality control for the pass defense, but it was something like that. And that would, to me, that seemed like the most logical thing to do, right? Was if you are going to make a change, if Petrino comes in, like we all discussed after the firing of Pittman, okay, well, if he makes any kind of move, it would be to fire Travis Williams, assuming he was granted that kind of power. And you just promote Woodson. And it's clearly not in the cards. So, yeah. Again, I'm going to give you my full reaction to this tonight, 6:30, Monday Night Lights Live. Kind of really looking forward to this one just because there's going to be a lot of misinformation out there too. There's going to be a lot of bullshit. There's going to be a lot of, oh, see, we knew this was going to happen. Like, come on, dude. Let's be real. They've done a pretty good job of, no one saw this coming. Nobody reported this, that they were going to fire the entire defensive staff. Nobody. There might have been the, oh my, something's going to happen this weekend. Those vague tweets. And don't get me wrong, there's been some very credible people kind of put out some stuff, some little smoke. But I don't think anybody saw this. And so that's why the reaction this morning. I mean, when was the last time I did one of these? A huff and puff. That's why I'm drinking the Pepsi Zero. Should have brought my watch. Damn it. Anyways. All right, let me try to read again, on mobile, your words are this big, and there's no way to just pull up. That's what I don't like. That's top fans we want. Brandon Hall is the number 1. Brandon Hall, you're number 1. And now Boss Hog on the XP. Oh, there's Argy56 right there in the chat. Didn't even see him. Joe Kynes was the replacement. That's it, Joe Kynes. It was Kines, right? So I got that T-Mobile. Sure do. I've got really good signal in here right now. It's 5G. I'm in the Springdale Sam's Club. Premeditated. That's a good one. Yeah, Mike. Maybe this was all premeditated. Hog Wild Cast Iron Restoration. It feels like they are going to dump a lot of people, and it gives them an excuse if we lose the rest of the year. Oh, I see what you're saying. And then next year will be Bobby Petrino or Bobby Peace people. I see what you're saying there, Hog Wild Cast Iron. Yeah, you kind of create an excuse. Petrino's... We know what's inside his wheelhouse. Like, we know, even back to his first go-around with Louisville or as the offensive coordinator at Auburn, there's plenty of smoke there that the guy, he just didn't have the greatest of reputations, right? And then obviously what he did at Arkansas as the head coach back in 2012. Oh boy, there's all kinds of copywritten music in here. I love it. Please join Patreon. This video will not be You'll get ads. I just won't get any ad dollars. Isn't that lovely? Thank you, YouTube. So is that, I mean, do you guys think that's what he's doing? He's purposefully tanking the year and he's got an excuse? That's actually, I'm not saying that, but that's interesting line of thought. I don't think Petrino likes to lose, though. That's kind of my thing. I don't, and he's never struck me as an excuses kind of guy. Although maybe that changes this year. Speaking of T-Mobile. I better. Oh, don't look at me. Don't make eye contact. Ah. Hey, sir, do you want to talk about T-Mobile wireless plans? No, really don't. I will say, though, their coverage in here has been really good. Oh, hey, random live from Sam's Club. That's right. That's what we're doing. That's how we roll. Tonight, 6:30, myself. If Travis Ford can't make it, I might pluck one of you guys. Come do the live with me. I mean, I'll do it. I like getting, they got some really, some Woo Pig. You guys need socks? I always like going through that. They've got stuff that you can't find, unless you, what do we got here? Windbreakers. $39.